Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, She Masters. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Motswana ko gae. Good evening, Motswana ko gae. Everywhere where you are, whether you are anywhere in the world, Africa, America, Europe, wherever you are, we want to welcome you again to this episode of Toolbox Talk with She Masters. Here is me, Masego Zulu, your host for this program, and today I am with my colleague that we are going to be unpacking occupational health and safety, and I have a professional who's going to be helping me through the program for today. But before we go on, I'd like to invite you to join, to invite your friends, your family, colleagues, everybody to log on and to come with us as we are going to be unpacking, as we are going to be discussing this topic today. This is Toolbox Talk with She Masters, where we discuss issues around health and safety, where we get an awareness or understanding of what occupational health and safety is all about. It is not only for a particular industry, but for all the industries, whether you're an individual, whether you're a small business, whether you're a multi-corporal business, a school, a hospital, whatever the organization that you are running, even your house at home, this is the program for you. So, like I said today, I have my colleague that we are going to be unpacking this, topic together, which is occupational health and safety. And like I said before we start, take your friends, call them as we are going to be rolling this. My name, Masego Zulu, and I'm going to be taking you through the program for today. Let me start by introducing my colleague, whom we are going to be working together today, taking you through the program. And he is by the name Patrick, but I'm going to allow him to come and introduce himself. And today, my guest is coming from the Ministry of Employment, Labor Productivity, and Skills Development in Botswana, of whom we are going to be talking together. Mr. Patrick, let me take this opportunity to welcome you, my brother. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Masiro, for this opportunity to host me or to be part of your panel today. Yeah,
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you
like
very much.
yeah.
Yes. So before we go on, Patrick, let me just allow you to greet Motswana Kohaye, everybody in the world, because this program, as you may know, that we are not only being watched by, Botswana Kohaye, it is international, it is watched by everybody. Some of them, it is night, some is day, some is even morning. So let me take this opportunity to allow you to greet Motswana Kohaye, and please do, introduce yourself, who you are, where you are coming from, and all that, please, as in terms of health and safety. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good day, good evening, good morning. Uh, this is Patrick Kiakanse. Like Masiro has said, I'm from Botswana, Ministry of Employment, Labor Productivity, and Skills Development, but specifically under the Department of Occupational Health and Safety. I believe Motswana Kohai, you would enjoy this program as we'll be discussing issues of occupational health and safety. That as for me, these are the issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is Patrick Kiakante from the Ministry of Employment, Labor, Productivity, and Skills Development. Then, before we go on, let me encourage my fellow viewers that if you have any comment as we go on through the program, if you have any comment, any question, please feel free to put in your comment on the chat box there, and we shall attend to it as we go on through the program. And today, with me, as I have Mr. Patrick here, who is a specialist or who's working under the Ministry of Labor, under the Department of Occupational Health and Safety. We are going to be talking basics to occupational health and safety. We are going to be discussing what it really means, the like occupational health. What does it really mean to me as an individual, to my family at home, to the person who's selling at the tech shop, everybody, organizations and all that. So we're going to be going to talk about the basics. So before we go on, Mr. Patrick, let me just take our fellow viewers through the history or the background of safety or occupational, this original of occupational health. From what I've read is that during those times when there were the slave trades and all that, there was a time when now the slaves were like, you know what, the condition of the slavery and all that, how harsh it was. So they
yeah,
came to come together, and fellow a few of them came together and to say that no, we need to advocate, we need to really request our superiors to say that, please, we know that we are in this condition, but we would appreciate that our safety is adhered to, our conditions, our working conditions, at least for us to be able to provide good work, good results, productivity. Let us at least be given good conditions. This is where we see origin of unions, and also the where now we see organizations or superiors leadership now adhering to health and safety, occupational health and safety at large. So from my understanding, this is where
yeah,
it's coming from. This is where it's really coming from
yeah.
a long time back. So I just want us to to give you again this opportunity to say, according to you, what is occupational health and safety, and just break it down to Motswana in a simple way that they could understand.
Yeah. Occupational health and safety, as we have said, Marcelo, is a vital tool that is used in the workplace today. And in Botswana, like you said, during the slave trade,
Mm,
occupational health and safety has been there. Of course, in our infancy, it might not have been known as occupational health and safety, but it was there because we have the Factories Act of 1973 that was mainly concerned with health and safety in the workplace, and then in this case in factories. And then from that time, from the mid 70s to the late 70s, we see the issue of occupational health and safety being addressed by labor inspectors. And then it was so until 2004, where now the government of Botswana decided to have this unit of occupational health and safety under the then Ministry of Labor and Home Affairs. So basically speaking, you were asking me what is occupational health and safety. Occupational health and safety is that condition created by employers, created by managers, created by government to ensure that workplaces are safe. Because as you know, we spend most of our day, almost 8 hours of our day, in the working environment. So it is very, very vital to ensure that our work areas, our work environments are safe from injuries, from accidents. They are safe from issues of infections like today we are dealing with COVID-19. So occupational health and safety, I would say to Botswana, is having a hazard or accident-free workplace. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for that. You mentioned that it is a condition or it's a situation of safety that is created by employers. So when you talk about an employer, who is an employer? Who in this case is an employer when you talk about an employer?
Yeah. Uh, an employer in this case, it just starts from the grassroots,
Yes.
Masero.
Okay.
An employer, maybe to make a Motswana at home to understand where we are coming from. We can speak about that Motswana that have a handmaid at home, that Motswana that has a headman or a head boy at home. So that Motswana who owns cattle is an employer to that head boy, or that mother who has children and then have brought this individual or this caretaker to look after their children. That's an employer. And then
Very
at the
supportive.
employer, of course, we'll speak about
Mm,
governance, we'll speak about local governments, we'll speak about in our situation here, we'll speak about parastatals, and then the private sector. All this brought together, these are employers. Or it might not necessarily mean someone who is employing people on a long-term basis.
mm.
It might be a Botswana whereby you ask a young man to attend to your ward or to weed your yard. In that situation or in that instance, you are an employer. Yeah.
So basically, when you look at it, everybody somehow in our life, we tend to be employers at some point. Everybody tend to be an
That's
employer. The
true.
moment you say, do this for me, and I have to be paid for that or whatever, even if it's not paid or it doesn't matter on what condition, the fact that you are bringing
Yeah.
somebody to do something for you, you become an employer. And I like the part where you
Yeah.
are now relating it at home, where you say that, when we leave our kids with that nanny to say, please look after my child, I'm an employer. When you have that
Mm,
that somebody that is helping you under the tree, to cook or to sell something, you are an employer. So everybody somehow
exactly.
somewhere is an employer, just starting from an individual up to the national, where we say now we look at the country as the government and all that. So all of us, we are
Yeah.
responsible for ensuring health and safety. I like the
Yeah.
conversation where it's going, and I'm really interested to know more. So this is Toolbox Talk, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, and with me, I'm with Mr. Patrick Kiakanse from the Ministry of Employment, Labor, Productivity and Skills Development, of whom we are today talking about unpacking occupational health and safety, bringing it to the basics so that everybody at home may understand. So we continue to dwell on our discussion, Mr. Kiakanse. Now, let us look at those,
Yeah.
those simple examples of practices, of safety practices that, when you look at an individual, what exactly are you talking about? I want to understand when you say that I have to make sure that, safety, I adhere to safety protocols and all that. What is it that me as an individual have to do? Or what are those things that I need to look out for going up into the, to the higher levels, say?
Yeah, as an individual, when we speak about safety, we can maybe look at some examples of safe practice, like let's say the use of cleaning the detergents. Like earlier, we mentioned the house helpers. Example of cleaning detergents. How safe are those cleaning detergents? And then to those that are using those cleaning detergents, are they protected in using them? Because some of these are chemicals that can affect the skin. Some of this chemical are what we call carcinogenic chemicals that can cause cancer if someone is exposed to over a long period of time. So, and then we can speak about issues of storage, maybe from a home setup. How safe are we storing such chemicals, be it from children or from anyone that may have come in contact with those chemicals? And then we can also speak about the use of personal protective equipment. I believe Botswana would agree with me. Here I have a helmet. Maybe for a Botswana you can understand better with a helmet, and then with goggles. This to a Botswana, this is what safety is all about. And it's not only about big establishments that need to adhere to safety. So even in Botswana, we need to take this issue of health and safety very serious. And then we might take another example, like all of us, one way or the other, we 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 ride on cars or we drive cars one way or the other. And then we speak about seat belts in cars. Do we adhere to those safety provisions that are there in our cars, in our public? in our public transport, be it road or air, or it might just mean just obeying signs. There is a construction or a maintenance of a road somewhere, and then you see this danger tapes that shows that you cannot go over this area. How much do we adhere to these simple things that are always there on a day-to-day basis? Or you are working in a shop. One side of the shop they have put this yellow a signpost that shows that this is a wet floor. Do you just say these people are just wasting my time, and then you just walk over that barrier? So basically speaking, health and safety is around us. We can go on about to today's situation whereby obeying the COVID-19 protocols that has not only affected the workplaces, it has gone to churches, it has gone to conferences, it has gone to shops, almost everywhere you are. If you don't adhere to the protocols, you might be the victim tomorrow. So that's what health and safety is to any individual. Thank you, Marcel.
Mm. Yeah, the way you are explaining it again, so it shows that, really health and safety, we are living with it. We actually are, health and safety is part of our lives, because the examples that you are giving, it is things that are normal, things that we are doing every day. Imagine, like, when we nowadays, when we put on the charger, you want to charge your phone. You want to charge your
Yeah,
phone, you won't use just steel, but you'll rather use lithocaline matches. These are the practices that are happening, not that they are safe enough, but they are,
exactly.
these are activities that are happening. Or rather, you use a pen because it has that plastic thing, that plastic cover, to
Yeah,
put the charger in that.
yeah,
It is dangerous, but this is the practices that you are doing. So in your consciousness, you're actually, putting a measure there to actually protect yourself, and you are not thinking of it as health and safety, but that is exactly what health and safety is all about. We talk about issues where
yeah.
we are like at home, we are cooking, and we are very much aware that we are not supposed to, when you are cooking on the pot, don't leave the handle hanging like this, because you know that you have kids there and they can come and pull down the pot wanting to explore, because they're always exploring things around them,
Yeah,
and some
or a situation
unfortunate
whereby
actions can happen there. Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
yeah, yeah, or a situation. Sorry for interruption. Or a
Yes.
situation whereby, like you were mentioning cooking, you open a gas stove, and then you are not prepared. You don't know where the matches is, and you have already opened the gas stove, and then you run around the house look for a matches, and then when you come, what happened is just
Exactly.
a fire that could have been prevented. Yeah.
Exactly. Now we have talked more about, from the lower level. Now let us go up a little bit on the ladder to say that now at a maybe a business or organizational level, where are we, and also what are those practices, and also maybe at the national level, just to give it a little bit of clarity for the mixture of that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. At national level now, that's where now the statutory instruments they come in. That's where now different pieces of legislation they come in to regulate. There are some things that are regulated just for the sake of protecting the public, or protecting the employment the employees that are there. And you might speak about the use of passenger lifts. I believe, especially in towns, we have gone through passenger lifts. Are those lifts safe? Are they safe for use? Have they been examined? To those who are owners of those lifts, are they conscious of the safety of this passenger lift? So at national level, this now it comes with a package of legislation to try to protect not only the people that are working there, but the public, and then even the environment. You can also speak about the radiation sources. These are a very dangerous dangerous rays that can cause things like cancer if not handled properly. So all these things at national level, they are being controlled, they are being monitored, and then you can also speak about the inspection of workplaces. Of course, it's the responsibility of each government to ensure that its people, be it at home, be it in any establishment, are they really safe? We can speak about public health inspectors who are not only confined to the workplace, but they can also go to homes to find this situation of cleanliness in homes,
Mhm.
the kind of how things are done in our different establishment, in our like in the small skilled in that industry.
Mm.
Where are they preparing their food? Is it health? Is it hygienic? So all this at a national level, you will find that it brings us now to issues of regulation. And then the other thing that I need to mention is that at national level, you find that the government has taken responsibility to have people that are competent, or whose competence has been tested to be the eye of the government. And now that's where now we come in as occupational health and safety, as inspectors. The government ensure that whoever goes out there to do inspection, their competence is tested, uh, that they can carry out such kind of work, and then even to appoint some people that can do different work on behalf of government. I can go
Yes.
on and on and on. Yeah.
Yes, let us just hold it there. Just in summary of what we have said already, like what you are saying, that occupational health is that, wherever we are, everywhere, everything that we do, there are hazards, or every place that we are at, there are always hazards. But then when you talk about
Yeah.
occupational health, we are saying that, as an employer, and most of us here, we are employers in some way, we end up being employers. So this
Yeah.
topic really addresses to each and everybody that knows that at some point they had been an employer, or they are employing, or they are
Mm,
asking somebody to do something for them. We are all employed, so we are all responsible. It is not only for
yeah.
this particular section, or the buildings that we see, that this is okay, this is company X or what, or this is the government or what, but we are talking about each and every person who has, that right, or who is actually employing somebody. So we are addressing this to them, and we are saying that, it is saying that, when you talk about occupational health, you are saying that as an employer, take the responsibility to look after, to ensure that your employees
Mm,
are safe. There are safe systems of work, whatever the equipment that they are using,
yeah.
their procedures, they are safe, to ensure that, they come to work safe, they leave the workplace safety. And I like the point
Yeah.
where, again, you said that we are not only, when you talk about health and safety, we are not only looking at the employees, we are also looking at the environment, the community around, that
Yeah.
workplace, or whatever activities that you are doing. How is it going to affect those people around there, the
Mm,
stakeholders, and the people, the community around that? We are also looking at the issue of the environment, because our activities, like we've been talking about chemicals, after I use those chemicals,
mm,
I go throw them, that water or whatever, I go throw them somewhere. So what does it mean? What
yeah.
are my activities, my job, the things that I do within my job, or my occupation, how are they affecting my environment? I think, in summary, that
Mm,
is actually what we are saying. And we are saying that health and safety, occupational health and safety, is also, it also looks at you as an individual. It starts with you as an individual. It starts with me. It starts with
yeah.
us as a home, as a community, as a school, as a church, as a shop, as a business, then the entire nation at large. So we are all, responsible, and we are all, affected in some way, and we take part in some way. So thank you very much,
That's very true.
Patrick, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is She Masters, and you are watching Toolbox Talk with She Masters, where I have with me my guest, Mr. Patrick Kiakanse from the Ministry of Employment, Labor Productivity, and Skills Development. And we are unpacking occupational health and safety. We are just taking it basics. We are just taking it, looking at me as an individual, you as an individual, up to the national level now, and also internationally, because from the national now we look at other countries, because we associate with other countries. So we have to be
Yeah.
considering that as well. So this is Toolbox Talk, and please feel free to put in your chat box there any comment, any question that we have, then we shall screen it, and we shall address them as we go on. We are going to go to the second part, Mr. Patrick. We've talked about, basically trying to explain what health and safety, occupational health and safety is all about, how it relates to us and all the other groups aside. So let us go to this question where we are saying that why is it so important there? We are talking about this, and we want to understand why health and safety, why is it so important? If somebody wants to ask that, why is it so important? Why do I have to
Yeah.
have it? Yes, sir.
Yeah. I believe by now our viewers from what we have said have really seen that occupational health and safety is really important. So the first thing that we can address maybe with regard to importance is with regard to the legal provisions. So occupational health and safety, it helps in issues of compliance. Like I said earlier on, it helps in issues of compliance to statutory instruments. There are pieces of legislation like in our case there are a number of legislation that addresses issues of health and safety. So it is very important in that it promotes compliance to the legal provisions that have been put in place, and it helps regulated conditions of employment with regard to health, with regard to safety, and then with regard to welfare of employees. And then this include the regulation of equipment. It include things like training, and then it include things like appointment of competent person. And then it is again still legally speaking, it's again important in that it's, it makes it clear what penalties can be uh, uh, laid out against whoever violates the provisions of health and safety, be it at home, be it with regard to the environment, or be it in the workplace. And it also helps with issues of labor disputes. Occupational health and safety, it helps the labor disputes between employers and employees, and not only help in labor dispute, it helps in curtailing or reducing such disputes associated with injuries, associated with ill health, associated with accidents. Because where the health and safety is not adhered to, we have a situation whereby we have conflict between employers and employees because of issues of injuries, issues of accidents, issues of compensation. So if we have clear health and safety provision, or if we have cultivated as a nation, we have cultivated a culture of health and safety. All this, some of these disputes that we see in our our workplaces, they will be avoided. And then again, it helps with the protection of employers, employees. It helps with the protection of customers, like we said, like I said earlier on. I gave an example of a customer working in a wholesale, and then cleaning is going on in that wholesale, and nothing is being put to warn the customers coming that they are clean, there are wet floors are around here. So health and
Uh,
safety, it helps in that we take regard with everything with regard to employers, customers, and then the environment. Yeah.
yes, sir. When you mentioned the legal aspect of it, the legal reason for health and safety, and you are talking about, the employer and that, and I'm taking it back to say that, so it shows that indeed that, the employer and also the employee are at the same level here, because if the employer is actually adhering and going alongside what is expected by the regulation and all that, and the employee is there and not doing anything as well, that means in this case we can say that the employer has done their part, the employee has not done their part, or vice versa. So it really shows that both the employer and the employee have to do something, to meet each other halfway. I mean, from the way you are explaining the legal part of it, as it has been the reason. Is it so, say?
Yeah, both the employer has legal obligations, and then the
Mm,
employee also has a legal obligation, because we have a challenge, Masego, especially like
mm,
I said that we are health and safety practitioners, or we are inspectors. We have a problem whereby at times the employees will be like expect pressure to be put on the employers, and then they don't see themselves legally obligated to comply with the provisions of health and safety within that set environment. So we need to point out that both the employer and the employee, they have legal obligations to ensure that issues of health and safety are addressed within their work environment. Yeah.
Erra, thank you very much. I like that part where we need where we are stressing that both the employer and the employee have got legal obligations. It is very important, and we have to get it across so that people know that, everybody at home knows that it's not, when you talk health and safety and we have to go the legal way, it's not only, the responsibility of the employer, but you as an employee as well, you have the responsibility to ensure your safety and the people that you are, working around and all that. Let us go on. Do we have any other, reasons? Because I believe there should be other
Yeah,
reasons for health and safety. Just briefly,
we are on the yeah,
the legal one.
you had asked earlier on just to highlight the importance of
Yes.
occupational health and safety. That's what we are addressing now. And then the
Mm,
other importance is on the moral aspect. We can continue to emphasize that the employer has a moral, and then we said earlier on, even a legal responsibility to protect the workers. Employers has moral duty to keep their staff safe. It's their moral duty to ensure that their staff are safe from harm. And then even the employees, they have a moral duty to ensure that they protect themselves, they protect their co-worker, and they protect the environment within which they have been placed, or within which they work. So we have a moral obligation as individuals, as organizations, to ensure that our environment, our people, they are safe, and even our processes, because we need not to leave that out, because the people can be protected, the organization can be aware, but if the processes have not been checked, whether they don't have any gray areas within which they can cause unnecessary or uncalled for injuries. Even our process, we have a moral obligation to ensure that our processes, they adhere to issues of health and safety. So employees have moral obligation to be loyal, be caring, and then to be respectful in their own work environment.
Kore re bua ka setho. We are just looking at, setho
Yeah.
hela, we know when from our culture, we know that we have to respect each other. We have to take care of each other. When you have
Yeah.
somebody under your roof, you have to protect them. Do whatever that you can to protect them, protect yourself, and protect everybody around there. Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you. I believe that we could also look at the economic benefit, because here we have talked about the legal, the moral,
Yeah.
and we could look at the economic benefit. So I just
Yeah.
want you that when we after this, I want us to look at the economic benefit of it. How does it economically, health and safety economically benefit, the organizations or the industry or everybody? Then we also look at um, we'll look at how does OHS affect economic performance of a country, a nation like Botswana. We'll specifically look at Botswana because we are
Yeah.
looking at this program as in Botswana, and it will also be an example for other countries. So this is Toolbox Talk with She
Yeah.
Masters. We are actually coming to the end of our program where we'll be wrapping up, but let me let you know that we appreciate your presence here. Keep on putting those requests or questions or comments, and we shall address them before we go to the end of the program. This is Toolbox Talk with She Masters, and I'm with Mr. Patrick Kiakanze. So, say, let us go on now. Look at the economic, benefit for having occupational health and safety, and also how this could affect the economic status of the country like Botswana. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about economic benefits, it's both ways. Economic benefits can both be positive, and then it can also be negative. Uh, Positive, how can it be positive? If we have addressed a health and safety conscious environment in our nation, it means that the morale of the employees will go up, and then if the morale of the employees, they don't hate going to work, they love going to work. It means that even their production, production will be at another level. It will benefit the organization from which they work, and then as a result, it will have a trickle down effect to the economy of the country. Because basically, correctly, if the companies are doing well, it will benefit the nation in terms of, let's say, in terms of taxes, and it will help a lot to create that kind of environment. And then on the negative on the negative side, if we don't have a culture of health and safety in our workplaces, we are going to see compensation costs going up, medical costs going up. Why? Because of workers who get injured in their workplaces that need medical attention, and then some of these workers who, according to the Workers' Compensation Act, they qualify to be compensated for their injuries or for their health, their ill health. That's on the negative side. And then organizations that comply with laws avoid OHS penalties, and then it against help on the negative side, issues of penalties. You will end up having to pay legal fees, like I said. There are statutory instruments that regulate. So if you have not addressed your health and safety portfolios in your companies, you will have those illegal issues that could have been avoided, and that comes with an economic attachment to you. And then in reducing accident and fatalities in workplaces. It will reduce cost of training and replacement of employees. So if there are accidents in the workplace, it means that you will have to do what? You have to recruit new workers. And then it's not only about recruiting. Every new worker needs some induction, and every induction comes at a cost. So it becomes a financial burden on the company, and then it reduces the cost to conduct accident investigation, because if we have an industry that is flooded by workers that are injured every day in and day out, every week in, week out, we end up having investigators going after this investigation. And these investigations, they come at a cost.
Of
That's
course.
on the
Mm,
negative side. So
mm,
OHS indeed affect the economic aspect of the nations. It increases the if I can summarize it, it increases the insurance premiums. It increases the medical expenses, and then it increases cost of compensation. Yeah,
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for that. So, in a nutshell, I believe that all that we are saying today is that, apart from it being our responsibility, we are saying that, the staff with from what you are saying that, if you protect your staff, if you protect your employees, you could be sure that, there will be production, you produce more, you have profit. And also looking at the systems of work, if the systems of work are good enough to protect your employees, to ensure that they do not get harmed, putting all whatever that you can to ensure that they are safe, the environment is safe, you'd have those motivated employees who would come to work and be productive and even go an extra mile. So we all need to look at
yeah,
that and see, where are we lacking, what can I do, what can I do to improve. And also, I believe when we talk about occupational health and safety, we are also looking at, ensuring that we consult, we talk to our staff, we talk to our employees, because it is not a one man show. Like we are saying that both
yeah,
the employer and the employee have got the responsibility, they've got the obligation. So it's not a one man show. We come together as employer, as employees, to see how best can we improve our environment, how best can we improve our workplace. So I believe Motswana Kwa Gae has gotten an overview and an understanding of what um occupational health and safety is all about, and they'll try and see things in a better way and try to implement whatever that needs to be implemented. It starts with, acknowledging that, what, I am responsible. I'm not supposed to
yeah.
wait for somebody to come and say do this, but I am responsible to ensure that whoever comes under me to work for me or to work with me, I ensure that they are safe, I protect them with as much as I can. So thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for this. I believe that we have wrapped it up. I just want to give you this
Yeah.
opportunity to maybe say your last word to Motswana Ko Gae, to our viewers, and whatever that you want to say them as your last word.
Yeah. Thank you once again, viewers, for joining us in this program. I believe you have realized that occupational health and safety is indeed important. If we would have to see improved efficiency and productivity in our nation, OHS is the way to go. If we want to see the production in our companies going high, OHS is the way to go. If you want to see a cost associated with the litigations, and then compensation being lowered, and then our homes being safe, our workplaces being safe, our street being safe, everything small that we do, we adhere to occupational health and safety, then we would have a Botswana that is going somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for that. Ke lebogetse gore o bo re nnile le rona gompieno, and we believe that you shall join us again next time. Thank you very much from the She Masters team, from the Toolbox team. Thank you very much, say.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Toolbox Talk with She Masters. As I was hosting today, Ministry of Employment, Labor Productivity and Skills Development. And I had with me on the studio Mr. Patrick Kiaganse, whom we were together unpacking occupational health and safety. I believe that you have learned a lot today. I believe that, we have managed to break it down to the basics so that everybody at home, everybody wherever you are in the world, you understand the basics of occupational health and safety. As you know, my name is Masako Zulu, and I'm here as being your host for Toolbox Talk with She Masters. Please feel free to tune in again next time as we bring you another episode of Toolbox Talk. And if you want to join us, if you want to be part of the show, please do not hesitate to contact us at our lines that you see there and also at our email. And with me, I said, from me, Toolbox Talk, and also the Minister of Labor, of Employment, Labor Productivity and Skills Development, and Mr. Patrick Yaganse, would like to say thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you again next time. Thank you very much.